Hello everyone, welcome to another vlog episode. I wanted to say sorry for missing yesterday's vlog, but I was out. I was out with my students on a field trip and we went to VCU, so we decided to go to a different campus because they are having a cultural festival out there for Qatar, or they called it Qatar. I was always told it was Qatar, but they said Qatar. So, but they were having a festival and they brought in people from over there, students from over there. They brought them in. They talked about their culture and provided food and music and a fashion show. They did a fashion show, and I'll let that run. And the other thing that I wanted to show you was someone was doing calligraphy, and they actually did my artist name, which was cool, and they let me record him, and I'll put that down here. And so there's a lot of cool stuff that was happening there, and I obviously couldn't do any kind of art because I was out with the students making sure they didn't get lost, and showing them another facility, another school, and some of the things that could happen. And what I realized was that I was looking for this type of campus. Like, I really want to be able to get into a campus like that, because I think that the atmosphere there, I mean, it was so big. Their campus was open just like Savannah, so I felt right at home. You know, I was like, oh man, this reminds me of SCAD. The open layout, there were buildings everywhere all through downtown Richmond, and it was really cool to see how everyone was VCU ready. You know, there was a lot of shirts, there was a lot of hoodies, the stores all had signs that said VCU on it, and you know, we accept there's discounts and we accept their credit cards and all that kind of stuff. But it seemed as though the entire town and everyone there wanted to be there. It was such a great feeling, and it energized me so much that, you know, I started doing a lot of business work. I didn't do anything art-wise, but I started reaching out to a whole bunch of people, started networking more. When I got back, I was like, man, I have got to get in on doing some more work, because I was like, I was feeding off of that energy, and it just seemed like the thing to do. It was great, you know. I was like, man, if I could get into a place that really, really wanted to do that. And I think that this whole time in my entire academic career, I was looking for a place that was like SCAD, you know, that was like, hey, this is the place that you want to be, and everyone really wants to be there, and we're going to push on every department, the art department, the science department, every department was like, hey, look, we are definitely looking to make sure that you get the best experience that you could possibly get. And it was absolutely fantastic. So if you're in the area, definitely take a tour of VCU. I think it was great. They were very open, very friendly, very welcoming, and especially if you're in arts, go check it out. You know, it's definitely well worth your time. And like I said, they are very friendly, and they definitely want to show off what they do. So definitely check it out. After that, we went to the Virginia Museum of Fine Art. We went there because, well, it was there, and it was free. And can I tell you that museum is huge, absolutely huge. There was so much going on in there, and I got lost. I mean, not lost. I mean, you just walked in, there was one room, and then as you're walking around, there's another room, and another room, and another room. Next thing you know, you've seen like 30 rooms, and then you're like, oh, I'm on the opposite side of the museum. That's really cool. And they had 3 floors, and they were constantly bringing stuff in. It was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. And what's funny is I think that my students that went they kind of missed the point of the museum, you know, to look at what happened before, be inspired, you know, look at these great pieces of artwork, and then do your own, you know, and to know the history of what was going on in art and be inspired and influenced to move forward and make great things, so that hopefully your work will end up in a museum one day. And I was really taken aback at how much they really didn't care. you know, they like skip through and be like, I'm bored, and they'd be on their phones, or they'd be looking at YouTube, and I'm like, well, that's kind of sad, but I mean, I enjoyed every little bit of it, and I'm actually going to put my tour of the museum after I'm done talking. So just like I did for the gallery show, for NSU, I'll put on the artwork in the museum that I took a look at. So definitely stick around for that. But I have to say that if you have museums around you, and you know, I can even say this, I've taken this for granted, you know, where I live, all the museums are free, and so you're just like, you know, I guess I'll go when I want to, it's kind of free. But I really want to make an effort to do better with that, and go to the exhibits when they bring new stuff in, and try and at least instill in my children to look at these things and be inspired, and you know, maybe even go back to the same exhibit that they like, and like, oh, we're gonna go back to the dinosaur museum because there's a new exhibit, but we'll definitely stop at the dinosaur museum, or the rocks or minerals, and you know, and just really try and invoke a feeling of, oh, the arts are really cool, or the sciences are really cool, and try and inspire them to do something. You know, all this is out there, and so I implore you guys, if you have a museum that you can get to and you haven't yet, make an effort to get out there, because I'm telling you, when I came back, and it was late, well, not late, but I mean, it was like 9:30, and I came back to the office, and I sat down and I started working. I started planning out new stuff. I was like, man, I got to talk to this person, make sure this works, and I was so energized to get work done that if you ever feel like you're in a rut, go to a museum, go check it out. So once again, if you can get to a museum, get to a museum, because it's gonna be inspiring. You'd be surprised. Like, I was walking through some of the old French painters, and I'm like, that looks like concept painting from today. And I was like, that's awesome. And look at the light, look at the composition. This is great. We can learn from this. And then I walked into the realism section of the museum, and seeing all these paintings that are realistic looking, so they look like people, just to walk around and then see a sculpture of a person and then go, is that a person? Is this performance art? Are they actually there, painted into color? And you know, to read the description, it's like, nope, this guy's just really good at sculpting. Like, wow, that is fantastic. So before I switch over to the tour of the museum, I just want to warn you, if you got this far, I want to make sure to warn you, there is nudity in it, because a lot of the Renaissance painters and the realists and stuff like that, they did nudity. So if you are offended by nudity, please, you know, stop the video now and just wait for a new one from me. But you know, if you are okay with that, and with the art form and the human body and stuff like that, we're gonna go to my recording of the Virginia Museum of Fine Arts. And so once again, if you like this video and want to see more, give me a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please go ahead and click the button, and don't forget to click the notifications at the top or the side with the little bell, so that when I do post it again, you'll know that it's out. And without further ado, here is the Virginia Museum of Fine Art.